Hey there, everyone. Just going to talk about the weather across the country for a few minutes, and more specifically, what we should expect to see in Colorado throughout the rest of the week. The current infrared satellite picture, you can see pretty quiet across much of the west and southwest, and general flows out of the west and northwest. You can see some of those gravity waves over the higher terrain over parts of New Mexico and Arizona. Always neat to see those on satellite. But yeah, not too much to talk about. Another little shortwave embedded in the flow over, looks like kicking off kind of over northeastern Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska right now. You can see it on water vapor imagery pretty well, right around there. And yeah, just overall pretty quiet pattern for the time being. Much of the week, or the rest of the week, should be rather quiet. Chance of snow comes later in Friday and into Saturday, and really, really cold air behind that. I don't know if it's going to be as cold as what we saw last week, but you know, we could be flirting with the 0-degree mark again at night, especially Saturday night behind the front. But let's talk more about that. Just go on what's going on right now. This is our Denver sounding from this evening at 0Z, so 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. You know, pretty dry, somewhat average profile. This time of year, it should be 42 degrees. It should be it's where we should be this time of year for highs, so we're slightly above that. Actually see a little sliver of K per buoyancy, around 550 millibars, so it's kind of neat to see that in December, not something we usually see. And I guess some moistening around 500 millibars, so some mid-level clouds, which we did see today. Yeah, overall it's a pretty calm weather pattern for the time being, and that will continue into Thursday, and then Friday we start to see some changes. Current surface observations show that just pretty quiet, actually fairly mild this time of year and this time of day too. Temperatures hovering around 30, 35 degrees, low 30s. Greeley, which is a low-lying spot, they tend to be cooler, 26 degrees there, and yeah, somewhat beautiful evening, little chilly, but no complaints there. Taking a look at the radar across the country, really not much going on. You can see some of those snow showers over northeastern Colorado. I'm not actually sure how much of that is reaching the ground. 34 over 18, that's at Sterling, 32 over 13, I believe that's at Fort Morgan. So it's pretty dry. Low levels are pretty dry at least, and you can see that in the Denver sounding, pretty dry low levels. You got a 20-degree dew point depression, so not really sure how much of that snow is making it to the ground. And that's associated with that shortwave trough that I showed on water vapor imagery. And there are a few thunderstorms across parts of the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, that's associated with the stationary front, as you can see right here on surface observations. Front kind of draped along the Gulf Coast there. See north of it, temperatures mainly in the upper 50s and low 60s. To the south of it, temperatures in the 70s, dew points in the 70s as well, so muggy air to the south of the front. Over the Gulf, and it's kind of the time of the year where we see fronts make it all the way down to the Gulf Coast and eventually stall out. So that's basically what's happening here. This is just the wrap upper air pattern, just what we're currently seeing right now. See, was that a 140 knot jet over Colorado and into Utah and much of the Mountain West. And I guess maybe some of that snowfall over Kansas, Nebraska, and northeastern Colorado might be due to this left exit region of the jet. They're in that position, so that tends to enhance some clouds, precipitation, in this case snow. But not sure how much of that is really causing the snow. Yeah, just take a look at the models. You can see this is the 12Z GFS. Again, I don't really want to wait for the 0Z to come out, and so we'll just flip through this. It's going to be pretty mild. Actually, let's just look at the general height pattern. This is 500 millibar geopotential height and anomalies from the 12Z GFS, and you can see some pretty zonal flow across much of the country, for that matter, and that tends to bring us some milder air. Winds out of the west, what we call downsloping in the lee of the Rockies. So here in Denver, westerly flow. Loft generally translates to warmer, drier conditions, similar to what we saw today and what we will see through Friday. So I'm just going to fast forward here, if this will let me. There we go. You can see a lot of cold air bottled up into Canada and parts of the northern plains. It's going to keep them pretty chilly for the rest of the week. And you can see some weak ridging builds throughout the west and over Colorado midweek. This is Wednesday evening. See Thursday much the same. Thursday and Friday will actually be pretty mild. We had that westerly flow and some ridging in mid levels, so that will help us warm up quite comfortably. Might even push 50 degrees on Thursday or Friday, so slightly above average temperatures. And then cold really builds in this weekend. Friday we see a cold front and some chilly Arctic air behind it. I'll talk about that in just a second, but chances for snow, I'm not terribly excited again. It's kind of looks like much of the action is going to be behind the front. That's anticyclonic upslope. So what happens here is I can show you. You can see the cold front right there push through sometime later Friday. Then you can see a surface high, which is come behind a cold front, builds in behind the front, and generally that clockwise flow around the surface high translates to upslope for us. Winds out of the northeast. You can see some of that here, and of course, really cold temperatures. Saturday night will be very, very chilly. Friday might be one of those days where it's 75 degrees in Springfield, Colorado, in the southeastern corner of the state, and Cheyenne, Wyoming, it's 10 degrees and snowing. Those are always interesting days here in Colorado. I always enjoy them. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the week. Should be fairly dry through Friday. Snow, not sure how much we're going to see. Still a little too far out. I'm not terribly excited. Typically these anticyclonic upslope events, with the cold air in place, snow to liquid ratios tend to be pretty high, so 20 to 1, 30 to 1. So depending on how much snow we see here, it'll likely be of the white, fluffy, the fluffy variety. So even if we don't get much liquid out of it, snowfall total should add up fairly quickly with those high snow to liquid ratios. But maybe I'll do another one of these for the end of the week, for Friday at least. And yeah, enjoy the week, enjoy the mild weather, try and get outside some, and have a good week.